Good evening, everybody. Welcome on board Lily. As you can see, I'm taking a back seat for a change. I normally row down the Gloucester and Sharpness every evening just for the exercise, but somebody else is doing the rowing this evening. Randy's back on holiday for 3 weeks, and we're just out taking the air and getting a bit of exercise on this absolutely glorious evening. I thought I'd introduce some video footage that I took a couple of weeks ago. My neighbour on the marina, David's got a 38-foot sailing ketch called Midnight Ketch, and had planned a little 2 or 3 day trip down to Cardiff just as a jolly, and invited me and some of his friends. So there were 4 of us, 4 old geezers basically. We set off early Saturday morning, just in time for high tide, the flood tide, and headed off down the river. It was a glorious day, the conditions were perfect, so it gave us an ideal opportunity to get to know each other. David knew all of us, but the rest of us didn't know each other. There was Sean, David's good friend Greg, David of course, and me.
5.7.
All right.
Starting to turn. Thinking it was the white marker to the right for you.
Old load of cocktails.
Well, I've got the Bluetooth speaker as well. Play Wagner on the way down. More or less lined up.
Sean and David volunteer for SARA, that's the Severn Area Rescue Centre at Sharpness, and being a Saturday and the tides being right, they were out in force. So they had the Beachley Centre and the Sharpness Centre, their combined boats all milling around in the Severn doing their various exercises, practice, and so it was a great opportunity to meet up with them. Of course, a little bit of banter going on.
Driving. Anything could happen. Oh my word. You mean down to the bridges? So you have the idea of that?
Yeah, I've got you cross on yourselves.
Okay. You can see them over there, the 2 heights.
The estuary widens past Avonmouth, and the wind picked up at about force 4 or 5, I think, and we had some really fantastic sailing conditions. So that was brilliant. We had the best of both worlds.
Can I have a handle? Thank you. How's that?
Yeah, good.
We did have a little problem on the way. The engine overheated. We discovered that the water intake was blocked, and we analysed that it was blocked at the heat exchanger, and that was too complicated to strip down mid-channel. So we sailed backwards and forwards for about half an hour and then gave up on it and pushed on, sailed to Cardiff. We needed the engine really only to get into Cardiff because the sailing conditions were good enough to sail. And in the end it did sort itself out. We arrived at Cardiff at around about, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock, which was perfect timing. We had to wait half an hour to get in, and we spent the night in Penarth Marina, which is really lovely. We were hungry and tired, but very happy. We went out into Penarth to try and find somewhere to eat, and all we could find was a pub. I think it was called the Oyster something. It's one of those family pubs, so it was a bit like a school canteen. It was absolutely chock-block with children, and the food was pretty much like a school canteen as well, but really, you know, we'd had a good day, so we didn't really mind. When we got back on board the boat, we were all 4 old geezers sort of milling around, just getting ourselves ready to sort of bed down. And David, talking to himself, sort of piped up and said, "Oh," he said, "did I take my gout pills today?" And I suddenly thought, "Oh yeah, damn, did I take my blood pressure pills?" And then somebody else said something else. It was like 4 old geezers talking about the drugs that were sort of keeping them going. You know, it's just, yeah, I suppose you had to be there. We left Penarth early on Sunday morning, and we decided to head out to Watchet. Josephine used to be based in Watchet, on the other side, that's on the English side of the river. It's a small harbour, it dries out. It's quite a difficult one to get into, and the weather wasn't good enough to allow us to do that, and the tides weren't right. But we did want to have a little look at it from the sea, you know, seaside. So we did, and we had again, we were very lucky. We had force 4, gusting force 6, so we had some interesting winds, and the tides and winds created quite a choppy sea, actually, short and choppy. So it was a bit of a rocking and rolling course, but it was really, really good fun. We all enjoyed it. So we got to watch it. We turned at Watchet after having a good look at the place, and then we headed north back to Portishead. On the way, we had a fantastic view of Flatholm. Sorry, Randy, what was it?
It was the Kingfisher.
Oh, the Kingfishers again. I'm just going to give you a little. I'm going to give you a little look around here because it's so beautiful. Not there, of course. It's Rundy, and then around on the river. It's absolutely beautiful evening. I don't know whether you can see that. And a lot of bird life. So, and we've got a boat coming down, Randy, so we have to move over. I suggest you move over in there, I think, because it's very weedy at the side there. Yes, on the way we passed Flatholm, and we had some quite dramatic skylines, dark clouds. It didn't rain. I think we got a little spotted rain, but good strong winds, good sailing, and we arrived at Portishead at around, I think, about 7 o'clock, just before dark. On the first tide, actually, it was all perfectly timed. David did his calculations really, really well, actually, and it all worked out perfectly. The rest of us just had to sit to enjoy the sailing, really, because David had planned it really well. What do you think, Sean?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're looking great.
How have you enjoyed the last few days?
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good company. Good sailing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you think of your crew? David. What do you think of your
putting me
new
on the
crew?
spot now.
Yes.
I think
Yeah. Well, I think he's just summed it up, really, hasn't he, Sean?
What more could he say? I mean, you know,
I don't think you need to say any
No, I
more.
won't say anymore.
I don't know
The
whether
crew has been excellent, and it's been a very
And it-
harmonious couple of
And are
days.
you still friends, Greg?
I've had a chat with myself again.
Portishead Marina Yacht, Midnight Ketch. Good morning, over.
Midnight Catches is Portishead Keys. Good morning to you. Go ahead, over.
We've just cast off. We'll approach the lock very gently for the 7:30 lockout, over.
Yeah, copy that. No problem. I've got the gates open, lights are green, so come straight in.
Many thanks. Okay, lights are green, we can go straight in.
is that the one you were wearing?
Yeah. We left Portishead early on Monday morning and headed up the river to back to Sharpness. This is the trickiest part of the navigation. Between the bridges and Sharpness Lock, you have to meander from one side of the river to the other. The navigable channel doesn't run down the centre of the river, and as aids to that navigation, there are channel markers, cardinals and transits dotted all over the place, lit obviously at night. Remember, Sharpness is a working dock, and it was a great opportunity for us all to get a really good look at those. I took lots of photographs, as you'll see here.
Information in our two groups and sailing yachts. I can see it. That's
I'm just approaching Barclay Power Station, about to turn left past Bull.
Yeah, I can see you there, Skipper. Yeah, you're a fair way out of the ship, so keep coming and hopefully you get yourself into the basin on the pontoon.
Roger.
As we approached Sharpness, we discovered we had a couple of big ships coming in behind us, so we had to pull over and just wait for them to pass us by into the lock, and then we moved in alongside them.
Yeah, that's it, Skipper. Well, if you just follow the ship in, you can just wait in the basin until we've tied him up, and you'll be in the lock as well.
I hope you enjoyed that. Messing about on water is always great fun, isn't it, Randy? He's just doing the hard work here. Hard work. Ah, right, well you can do some more of it while I just sit back here and enjoy this gorgeous evening sunshine. Home James. I should say home Jane, I suppose. Oh, this is the line. All I need now is a nice glass of wine, or a pint of ale. Oh. The only thing that would make this better is a little bit of wind, so we could actually put the sails up and sail. It is absolutely not fancy.